Hi, welcome to the Creative Bulb podcast. My name is Masha. I am so excited because today is a very interesting episode and it's a first. It's the first time where we get to have a guest in studio. I am so happy. The reason I'm just so happy about this guest is because our visions do align. I learned so much from her insights, the things she was able to share. I've written so many notes, and I'm always about getting better and just finding ways on how I can learn and get my full creative potential. And that is my intention for you as well. So ladies and gentlemen, I want you to welcome for the very first time, our very first guest in the Creative Bulb podcast. Welcome in studio, Stella Njogo.
Thank you, Masha. I'm so glad to be here. Yeah. I'm excited actually because like what you are passionate about, like creative process and just creating and putting your best work out there. That's also like what I live for. Yeah, so that makes me super excited to be here.
Exactly. So I'm just happy about the things we are going to talk about today. But I don't want to preempt anything. I want us first of all start with you as a person. Who is Stella?
Okay, cool. Who is Stella? So this question, for some reason, always makes people freeze because it makes you question which side of me should I tell? So no, I think I'll tell you my creative side and what I am currently branding myself as. So I am a culture producer. So I know that sounds vague. Yes, I'm a culture producer, but what that means is that I help people and brands build and grow their influence through creating content that shapes culture around them. And culture is simple. Culture is behaviors and attitudes. So if your content can shift someone's behavior and their attitude, then you have shifted culture. And if you do that at a larger scale, then you become more influential. So that's pretty much what I do.
Yeah, awesome. Culture producer. I've never had someone introduce themselves as a culture producer. I think the biggest hassle as a creative sometimes is even describing yourself, because you do everything. You're like, do I tell them I'm a graphic designer? Do I tell them I'm a this?
Exactly. That's why I even picked that name.
Yeah. At what point did you get that name? How was the process like? You've always had it.
No. So that's actually an interesting story, because earlier I was like, I'm a writer. And then I'm like, no, like I'm beyond a writer. Like I do more than that because I have a marketing background. So I am a writer, I'm a strategist, a marketing strategist. I am also a podcast producer. I'm a script writer. So, and the biggest thing that brings them all together is my strategic thinking. So, and also there's the love for culture and love for understanding why people do what they do. So all of these many interests, I was like, what is the common thread between all my many interests? What do my many interests produce in people or produce for people? So I was like, actually, like all the work that I do and all the things that I have interest in shape culture, because content shapes how people think and behave. Content shapes how people see their future and also like picture their future. So that was like, I think that's a good title, culture producer.
So let's just say, how long did it take you for you to figure that out?
Quite a while, actually. Quite a while. Yeah, that's a recent term that I am now owning this year, because I was my aim was to bring my artistic side to meet my marketing side. So it's hard to merge those two sometimes, because I'm like, when you say that you're an artist, people have this picture of like what that means in their head. Like you are disorganized, you're a painter, then like you sleep at 3 a.m. and wake up at noon, and like you're just crazy. I'm like, no, but I am an artist, but I am an artist who likes to work with brands and likes to, just influence people's way of life through digital content. So it's like, how do you describe that? So that's why this name just came up as like, oh, that's a nice way to actually describe what I can do.
Yeah, I love the name. I've actually never had someone describe themselves like that. So good job to that. I think it also goes to show sometimes you have to be in touch with yourself and understand your core. Because most of the times, even we call ourselves artists, but you're very different people. In as much as you are a culture producer, you're different from the way I am. So I think it also goes to show we have to understand ourselves first before we diagnose or be able to describe who we actually are. And then I'm also saying it has to go with your core and your purpose. And then everything you do, be it podcasting, be it your job, be it even farming, everything you do just revolves around what your core, your purpose on this earth. So that is really nice. Awesome. So you've talked about you have a marketing background. Could you just talk briefly about your academic? What have you studied?
Yeah, okay. So my story is an interesting story. So first I landed in my course, tourism and hospitality, by mistake. Like I actually didn't want it. It was my fourth choice and I didn't want it at all. It was just like one of those things that, what do I write in this thing? So I just wrote it because my friend said, oh, you look friendly. I think tourism looks like you. Imagine that's why I put tourism there. And I landed in that course. So so what happened was that I had chosen industrial chemistry. Imagine,
what?
Industrial chemistry. And then I know. And the second choice was financial engineering. So I missed. I know. I missed industrial chemistry by 0.1. So no, because I missed it just so slightly, I also missed the second one because it's also a course that's on demand. So I was thrown to my fourth choice because I wasn't aware of the revision period. So then bam, I found myself in tourism and hospitality. So now because of that, I didn't even really want the course. I didn't care about the course. And I felt like this was just like a huge monumental waste of time. So now because of that, I wasn't even like, I was not a good student in KU. I am not proud of it. I was in KU, by the way, in Kenyatta University. Yeah. So, and I was not the best student because I didn't really care about it. But then I just tried to, okay, fine, let's see where this goes. Maybe there's something that's going to happen. So as I was doing my course in the second year, like between the second and third year, there's a long holiday, like I think about 6 months. So I was bored at home and said, I'm like, let me go find an internship and just find something to do to stay busy. So that period was super crazy. So what happened was that it's so hard. It was so hard to find an internship. I tried. I went to all the hotels, all the restaurants, and like, hi, I'm a student. I'm looking for an internship. They didn't want to hire me. I even tried applying for jobs as a waitress, and they still didn't want to hire me. It's like, gosh, guys, I just want an internship. So now, like, I was lucky enough to I found one finally at a place close to Rongai at Galleria. It's no longer there, unfortunately, but it was called Blanco's Sports Grill. It was a sports restaurant stroke grill. So it was like really well organized, and like that was, as in, I'll just say that's God, because it was such a perfect deal because it was close to home, because home, I'm like, my folks live in Rongai, so it was like really close to them. So that worked out perfectly. So my boss there was super gracious. His name was Zawadi, like just bless Zawadi. He was the best boss ever, because I applied as a waitress, and like when he met me, he's like, why are you applying as a waitress? I was like, because I've been trying so hard to find an internship and no one wants to give me a chance. So like, I was just trying to see like, what's a job that looks like I can be able to just get my leg in and then just see how I can work up from there. So he's like, actually, I like your profile. I like your passion. So I'll have you join us, but not as a waitress. You'll join as a management intern. I was like, oh my God, thank you. Because he saw that I'm actually in campus. He was like, but you're in campus? Like, yeah, but no one wants to give me a chance. So like, what would I have done? I just wanted to just get in and do something and have some experience and see how the industry is. Yeah. So no, because of that, he was a very open-minded guy. And he wanted to learn what I'm learning in school and to just like learn what a guy's being taught in uni about how to run a restaurant, how to market and what. So he was very open to my ideas and receptive to my ideas. So that's where I realized that I have that instinct for marketing. So first thing I did was that they used to have this monthly sports quiz. So it was a sports bar. So you come in and watch all kinds of sports. There was a section for F1, section for football, section for tennis, like all sports, different screens, a really, really well done decor. So it was like a very, very dope concept. It was just like before its time. I wish they began now. It could have been such a big, big, big place. But yeah, so it was like a really well done place. So they used to have this monthly sports night and then I gave him this idea of like, so why not start a newsletter and just like keep these guys engaged between each sports quiz, just keep them engaged, keep them loving the place, tell them what's coming up, what matches are coming up, what offers do we have, just keep them here and help create that community feel within the grill. So it's like, oh, that's interesting. And like that was 2012, 2013, and that's like way before like newsletters were a popular thing. So that in itself actually like really went well with a guest. So like, oh, this is so dope. And then I also used to have this column within that newsletter called the Memoirs of a Waitress. So, so that was me, because during that internship, I had to go through all the departments just to get a feel of how the restaurant really works, just to help me manage it. So now I went through all departments. I was in the back office, like, the back end. I cooked, I cut the things, I washed dishes, everything. I served, I was a waitress, I was at the bar, I did everything. I was at the store, I was at the office, I was a hostess at the door welcoming people. Like I went through all the departments for at least 2-3 weeks just to get a feel and to understand how they function, to help me now think as a manager, because now I understand how every single department works. So now, because of going through all those segments, like my worst one was being a waitress, because first, I am naturally clumsy. So like there's one time I dropped a guest's drink. I dropped it right now in front of him. So anyway, but the boss was so great. He's like, no, it's fine. Don't worry, Stella, it's fine. And the guest was also really gracious. Like, no, it's fine. I'm sorry. It's okay. I'll pay for you. Don't worry. And then he was like, it was good. Like they were all so gracious. I was like, wow, thank you. Because I felt like crying the whole time. Yeah. So anyway, that was a whole experience and a half. Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice experience.
That's when I know. So that's why, so after the idea of the newsletter, it became like a hit with the patrons. They really loved it. Like, and they were surprised that the waiters there can write articles and like interesting things. And then it's like, no, she's not like a typical waiter. She is actually a campus student who's here. Like, oh, that makes sense now. Okay, fine. Yeah, but that was like it was a very fun experience.
Yeah.
And then after that internship, I realized that I think there's like something in this digital realm that I can do. Then because of that newsletter, I got my second internship actually now much easier. So it was in another hotel, and there I was in charge of reservations and also in charge of social media. So I gave ideas on how to improve our marketing, and I wrote a whole plan on like a 6-month plan on how we can improve marketing and just improve our social media, just from me seeing and observing. This is, mind you, all without training. It's just following instincts and following by observation. So like sometimes just follow those, like, what is this thing? The thing that catches your eye, follow that, because it gives you clues as to who you need to, as to who you are. So just keep following that curiosity. It shows you who you are. Yeah. So I'm like, from the start, I'm like, I just figured out like, I think I have an instinct for this content stuff and for marketing. So because of that, I got now like a proper job in that hotel, like a job from an intern to a marketer, because of like, oh wow, we love your strategy. So they hired me for a couple of months. But now that was in third year long holiday. So I still had like 1 more year to do for my course. So I left that job, finished my course, but then I realized I actually dislike the tourism and industry. Like I don't like it. Like I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. What I enjoyed was the marketing part. So so I knew that was going to be my path, and I was going to follow that. So luckily enough, during that job at the hotel, I attended an event. It was, I think, like one of the first social media days in Nairobi. So I went and met some guys who used to work in agencies. So I was like, hi, I work for this hotel. I run their social media pages. So this guy used to work at an agency called Score Digital. So it's like among the biggest agencies locally. So he called me up a couple of months later. He's like, hey, I've seen your CV in our pile and we are hiring. Do you want the job? I was like, yes, yes, I want the job.
Yes.
And the timing was perfect because I had just finished campus and I was now going to look for a job. So now immediately after campus, I jumped into agency life. So I was very fortunate because I didn't have to tarmac because of
for a long time.
Because of meeting people. So it was just like, I think a month or two after finishing, then I got my first real job.
Awesome.
And then since then I've just been I've been in marketing since then. So that's how I got my start. So and I realized, because I have this instinct for marketing and for spotting problems and how to solve our clients' needs through content. I've always had that instinct, and I've always just followed it and read up on better ways to do it, and just always just looked at what people are doing, and then just learn. Like I've learned as I've been doing this for, like, I think it's been 7 years now. My God.
7. Wow. Okay.
This is the 7th year since then.
Let me ask, because not many people get to have opportunities like the ones you had. For example, you just came out of uni and then you got a job, more or less, like how many months, 2 or 3 months into just staying from
2.
So let me, what do you think is the advantage you have? What do you think contributed as well to you getting your first job? Because I know the story of most people is they get to hustle, they look for so many opportunities. It's really hard for them to get even a space in that agency. What do you think worked well for you?
I think I was lucky because I did the hustling and the hard work like during my school years. Like trying to find that first internship was the hardest thing I have ever done. That was so hard, and I had to humble myself and like get any single chance to just get my foot in the door. So I would tell people to like begin as soon as you've begun the course. Just like go look at what companies do what I'm studying, and then try and get your foot in the door, whichever way. Even if you have to like volunteer for a while, just get your foot in the door, because what people actually look for is experience. And how do you get experience if you never get your foot in the door? So if you just start a course, immediately start looking for companies that do what you're studying and try and offer your services and try and just get your foot in the door whichever way that you can. Then from there, like add value, be a valuable person, look around, see what you can solve, give ideas, and just make yourself as valuable as you can. And then that's going to just help you grow and evolve. Because like the first deal was for me to be an intern, and like the pay was like 10K per month. So that was good because it's an internship, and then it's like it's allowance for fare and whatnot. But not because of my ideas for the newsletter and whatnot. My allowance was increased by another 10K.
Awesome.
And imagine, and that's just him increasing just by himself. Just because, like, I really like your ideas and your initiative. Fine, let's do that. Then I'll add money for you. That's without me asking for extra money. He just added money because he's like, I really like your work. So imagine, like, I got a raise without even asking for it. So there's then, like, when you add value, people will want to have you around, and to keep you, they'll even add your pay. So like, just get your foot in the door whichever way that you can, and then be very valuable and try and just do something worth noting before you leave that place. Then you're well positioned to get the next job.
I can also tell you are also very aggressive, because most people nowadays, the notion out here is you have to be in a way connected for you to get some of these opportunities. From when I hear your story, the first thing I get is you had no connection whatsoever. You fought your way to where you were at. You didn't know an auntie or an uncle or a friend who knows a friend who knows another friend. So you fought your way to get your opportunities. So it also goes to show sometimes for the opportunities we need in life, we have to identify what we need and then go for it, and also be very aggressive, because nowadays most people are interns, but there are interns that even the boss doesn't know you. Like, make your presence be felt.
Exactly.
So I think
You're
I
just
really
sitting there and scrolling through Facebook. Like, you'll never get a job there because they don't know you're there.
you have to make your presence felt in everything you do. So it's also something.
Exactly.
Is it also something also in terms of the way you are brought up? Were you always that aggressive? Is it about your background? Or is it about the schools you went to? What do you think contributes to your aggressiveness?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
I think it's just like something that has always been inside of me, because that holiday I was bored of sitting in the house and just watching TV. I was like, I think I can do more. And then I've always like had the drive to just like go out and do stuff and just be something. So I'd say it's part of, it's just who I am. And then also I think there's influence from school, because like the high school I was in, I felt the pressure to like become something in life, to like achieve something faster. So now, because of that pressure of like you need to achieve things and achieve them quickly, like I really wanted to like get my foot inside the door and just like start somewhere and see how the outside world really works, and just see how things are. Yeah, so it's more of just like get out there and just start. It was super scary. Like, I was scared the whole time. I wasn't confident, look at me, hire me because I am the best. No I was super scared the whole time. I was like, oh my god, why is no one hiring me? I felt like crying the whole time, but then I just pushed on. I was like, if I don't do this now, I'll do this after fourth year, which is worse, because I'll be so like it's a bad time, because like you finished your campus, you're trying to get a job, you're stressed. So like, let me just begin that process now and just cool out that stress early, and then like reduce the amount of stress that I'm going to have like when I finish my course. Yeah,
exactly. So even there's another recording I had done, and I was talking about self-doubt and how to deal with self-doubt as a creative, because sometimes, especially, let me just talk about when you're coming from school. When you're from school, you've studied everything. For me, I didn't study. I studied what I wanted to do. I wanted to do film production and animation. So me, I wasn't looking for things. I didn't do something I didn't want to do. So by the time I was done with campus, I knew I was something. Like, the industry needs me. People need me. I wonder how they're surviving without my input. But then now when you go,
wow.
But now when you go to the market, the realities of the ground are very different. It's only that sometimes the opportunities you thought you would have gotten are not the ones you actually get. So there's a lot of rejection. But at the same time, you also realize you also have to be extremely aggressive. At the same time, you have to learn to also embrace the rejection, because outside here things are tough, But now when you're rejected,
it really humbled you.
You keep doubting yourself. You feel like you're not enough. Sometimes when you're rejected the first time, second time, third time, fourth time, you feel and you're not enough. But then I'm also learning, for these opportunities you want, create them. For example, you didn't have someone doing newsletters. You just identified a problem and you created a solution for a problem you had identified. So it's also something people can also learn to identify problems and make value for yourself for that problem you're trying to solve. Exactly. True. Yeah, so that's a very beautiful story. I think I love your story already. So you went, and that's why you started doing the whole content, and you became so passionate about content. Officially. Exactly.
So the progression has been interesting, actually, because I've been both in the agency side, and I've also been client for a while. So I've been both. So I was at Squad for like about 2.5 years, and then I left for another agency. I was there for a couple of months. I left for another one. I was there for a couple of months. Then I left and became client. So that was very fun. So now I was working with an agency on my brand. So that was a very fun
on
project.
Your own personal brand?
No. I was working for Pambazuka National Lottery.
Awesome.
It was a nice job, but now unfortunately, because the laws were changed and everything, so the company had to be closed down. it was a sister company to SportPesa. So that this whole law thing and the changes, so like we had to shut down the whole company. So yeah, it had real casualties. I am one of the real casualties of like all these laws that people pass randomly. Yeah. So like we all lost our jobs. Yeah, we all lost our jobs. Yeah, it's fine, man. So like we all just dispersed to different places. Like my boss right now is a brand manager at ABL. My boss then right now is at ABL. Yeah. Wow. So I went back to agency, and then I was there for a couple of months. Then I switched to another agency for now a couple of months again, and then now I went out and now became a freelancer. So now my goal is to now serve people at a larger scale, like at a global and Africa scale. And I think, and I realize that that's best done as a consultant. So I am branding myself as a consultant. Yeah, so that's why I'm keen on finding a word to describe what I do and to merge my marketing side with my artistic side, because I feel like it adds more value to my offering, and it adds more value to brands that are focused on Africa, because I can add to them, like, it's beyond just creating content for them. It's making them build a legacy and build like a brand that's impactful within Africa.
Exactly. So if you, in terms of your journey until where you are at it now, what have you really been struggling with as a creative? What have been your biggest struggles? Because you mentioned about doubt. What else have you been really struggling with that we can relate to?
I would say identity. Who am I as a creative? Because when you have so many passions and when you have like this clear drive to create, like many things pull at you, like, because I want to write, I want to make videos, I want to make podcasts, I want to do this. So like, how do I define who I am and the value that I bring if I have so many interests that can at first seem conflicting? If you start something, then you get good at it. Like, I'm like, each time you give something a chance and you get good at it, so it makes you wonder, should I just like focus on one thing and leave all the other things which I can potentially become good at? Or do I just like do all of them and then like try and balance all of them like at the same time? So that has always been a fight within myself. So like, how do I grow? Like, what does my growth look like if my interests are so many? Because you can't grow in five directions. You need to pick one and then use that as the core channel of growth. Then the others might come in as you grow. But then like, you need to pick one, struggle and run with it. So that picking the one that speaks to most of who I am has been the hardest part. Yeah, but I think now I have achieved some form of clarity and it's been a long battle. It's been a very long battle and an intentional battle, because I knew like you need to focus for you to make good progress. If you don't, you're always going to jump, but and go around in circles, but never quite move. You just like always up. You move an inch, go round, another inch, you go round. So like, you never make progress. But exactly. So you have to pick one, then that's when you shoot and grow.
Story of our life. I think I've also been struggling with identity a lot, and I think it's something let me just say all creatives struggle with, because it doesn't take much for you to be good at something. Like everything you get to touch sometimes, especially if you're very you're multi-talented. You're probably talented in almost anything. If you decide to start football today, you'll be you'll be good at it with time. So if you just get to practice, and I get the fact that you say you just have to learn to focus. But truth be told, honestly, the focus is where the hard part is at. Because you have so many things you have to do. So, and now you've mentioned you have now reached at a point of clarity. Are you content? Yes. Are you content now, or you feel, because there's a part you always miss that other season? Are you content now that you have found clarity?
So, like, what actually shifted is that, like, earlier, what used to excite me was discovery, like discovering new talents and discovering new ways of expressing myself. But then now I've changed the goalpost from discovery to results, to actually shipping things. Yeah. So like when you change how you measure success, or like how you measure happiness in yourself, then it helps you focus. Because right now I want to see tangible results and tangible projects that I've worked on to completion. So that's my new marker of success. So now because of that, it helps me become grounded. Like, okay, fine, I need to accomplish these projects, and to do this I have to create a routine, create a schedule, work on this for this year until something happens. So that it grounds you. Once you stop chasing after ideas and newness, then you start chasing after results and a track record, because that's like what I want to build right now. It's a track record, it's a body of work. That's what I'm aiming towards. And when you change your aim to that, it makes you very grounded, because you realize how much work you have to do to even like accomplish that. Then now you just like relax and stop seeing all the things that are distracting you.
Yeah. And even when you mentioned that, it reminds me of the first time I took notice of you. I had seen a post you had shared on LinkedIn. You were talking about how there's so many trends that are coming up. People should try podcasts, should try videos. There's another illustration you had shown. I think I'll just show it in the video.
Yeah.
Another illustration you had shown. And then someone is asking, can you just talk about strategy? And I think the biggest hassle for us is the shiny coin syndrome. And that's why I think we should talk about it right now, because it's something I feel that should affect a lot of creatives. The shiny coin.
Yeah.
And I know you've been there, because you said you've been everywhere. Now you're thinking, well, now I need results. So what would you explain the shiny coin syndrome to be?
Okay, so the shiny coin syndrome is just simply it's being distracted by newness. Like you're always chasing the new thing and the hot thing, and you think by doing that you'll become more relevant, because like newness and shiny things, they are nice and cool and attractive, and they're popular. So no, because of that, you also want to feel those things about yourself. So like you run after them. Like TikTok comes in, no, you wait, like you run, you're not TikToking. Something comes in, oh, you run, now you're doing that new thing. As in that lack of focus on a particular path, it's brought by that need to feel relevant, like need to feel current, and need to feel like you're on top of the trends. So yeah, it's in all of us, and it's very easy for you to fall into it if you don't realize that you're doing it. It's up to you to first notice it, then like, oh man, I need to like slow down, and then just like focus and decide, what do I really want with my life? What do I really want, even just like this year, even this month, even with this skill that I have right now, what do I want from it? If I want to like grow my career and get big opportunities, what needs to happen for that to happen? I need to have a good track record. I need to have a good portfolio. And to build a good portfolio, you need to actually sit down and put in work every single day and build out projects that give you a good portfolio. So such grounding to reality and grounding to look for results is going to help you stop seeing all the shiny things. Yeah, just like okay, fine, I see you TikTok, but nitakuja next year after I'm done with this thing. Yeah, exactly. So that's why you need to get to
focus. And then I also feel sometimes with the shiny coin, it can be very depressing, because there's so many things coming up, especially now in this digital and this technological era. New things are coming up. We have new trends every minute, every second. It's like every day there's something new that has come up.
Yeah.
And sometimes trying to keep up with the new trends can be as well depressing. Just look at how last year 2020 was. There's a disruption in everything else. And now new trends are coming up, new things. Sometimes trying all these things, people should go to YouTube, everybody should do everything online. But then sometimes it can be a lot, it can be depressing, and you not really get to have results. So for me, what do you think is the greatest effect of chasing the shiny coin?
So I would say that the biggest effect is stagnation, because it really does make you stagnate, because you are always jumping from one thing to another, and you don't take time to establish roots in one thing. Like that, getting rooted and grounded in one skill, or grounded in just like one area, then you finish that, then you go to the next one. People need to learn the beauty of getting grounded. It's a long but beautiful process, because now you'll begin to trust who you are, you'll begin to trust your abilities, and begin to trust the value that you can add to a place. But when you keep jumping from one new thing to the other, like you never get that feeling of being grounded, of belonging. Like you'll always feel like you don't belong anywhere. Then you'll always feel like you are a foreigner in every single thing that you try, because you'll try it, you kind of get good at it, then you leave it before you even establish proper roots. So that constant jumping, it needs to change to a focus on growing. Don't want to jump, grow. Growth is the point, and growth needs you to stand still in one place for long enough for roots to grow, and then now you can sprout and grow. But then jumping, it just makes you feel like you're busy, you feel like you're moving, but you're not. It's one circle, so it makes you feel stagnated, and it also makes you also feel a loss of identity. That's also, I feel, why like we're prone to things like depression and anxiety, because like you feel like you're not growing, you feel like you're not making any impact. But sometimes it's because like you just don't pick one, like you didn't pick one path and then you grow with it, because there's lots of value in knowing that you're getting good at something and knowing that you can add value in this particular way in life, and that really makes you feel like a useful human being in life. So it's very crucial even to who you are and even to your mental health. Yeah.
So I actually like what you said in terms of being grounded and rooted. But the truth is, honestly, we look at the shiny coin. The reality on the ground is it's not easy to be focused on one thing. Let me give an example. For example, Da Vinci. Da Vinci for me was more of a creative polygamist. He was into everything. Science,
yeah,
did more or less everything. But I think sometimes being a polygamist, a creative polygamist, having your mind everywhere, it also helps you give perspective in the things you do. It's only that sometimes you can be everywhere and nowhere in particular. So if you can speak into that, we've gotten the bad side of embracing of the shiny coin, like if you're everywhere. But then do you think there's a good side of the shiny coin? If you look at, can you embrace, at what point do we embrace the shiny coin?
Well, in my opinion, like I don't see a good side of the shiny coin, but I get what you're talking about, like having different interests. But now, like when that happens, I would say that use those different interests to accomplish one purpose. So how you can like pick one thing to get you grounded this time. Like don't pick a skill to work on. Pick a mission that you can use all your many skills to build on. So for example, if like my case, I write, I podcast, I'm a strategist, all that. So now how do I use all my many talents and all my many inclinations towards one focused goal? So what I did is I didn't pick one skill, because I have all the skills and they work together actually, like in a like larger scheme of things. So what I did is pick a mission. So when you pick a mission, it just needs to be something as simple as pick one problem that you can solve this year. So maybe say, for example, my mission personally is to help people develop creative courage. So how do you do that? Through your many skills. So like one, make a podcast about it. Two, maybe if you can design graphics and whatnot, make graphics about that, infographics, make comics, for example, in your case, illustrate fun things about that, as in write stories about that, collaborate with people on projects that speak to that mission. So that mission is what grounds you, but then it has all these other spokes, which are all your skills and talents. So being grounded is crucial. It's the biggest thing for you to make progress as a creative. So just find a way to ground yourself. Like even with your many talents, there's always that connecting thread that can help you become grounded. So don't feel like you need to throw away one skill then focus on the other. Sometimes you need to like bring all of them, but in service of one thing. So that's going to help you accomplish your establish your grounding. Yeah.
And the one thing is your mission.
Yes. Your mission will actually really ground you. Yes.
Awesome. So the mission is your mission in life, right? Because
so
is
actually,
it possible? Is it your mission in life?
Or what? Finish your question, then I jump in.
Because if I look at myself, in terms of all the skills I can do, I have two companies. I have two companies for myself. Then if I also get a job as well, I also do those things. So in everything, the podcast has a mission. I Masha, if I'm to be a brand, I think I have a mission as well. My companies have a mission as well. So, how does the shiny coin work for someone like me? Should you have a mission for your whole? How does it work?
Someone told me, there's having a job and then there's having your work, like your life's work. So a job is like the means that you use to pay your bills. It could be a marketing job. It could be like, I don't know, like all the jobs that you get to work with people. Those are means to an end. They help you accomplish like paying bills and just like moving and just like growing in life. But then your work, like your life's work, that's like the impact you want to leave in the world. So sometimes this impact, like, it's not like a big grandiose thing like I want to end world hunger. It could be even something as simple as I want people like me to feel comfortable in their own skin, and to also like feel confident in their own skills, and to know that what they have already inside of themselves is enough. And I want my work to reflect that. I want guys to see my work and feel a sense of hope, to see my work and feel a sense of well-being. So you see, like, that's a feeling that can carry over in all the different jobs that you do. So like you need to be aware of your life's work versus your job. So each time you're doing a job, like for example, it's like when you work with someone and you know that this person, huyu kazi yake, like she is very keen on all the details, so that attention to detail can be your trademark. So in all jobs that you do, you like you're very keen on those small details, and people know that that's your signature. So it's more of choosing your signature in all the jobs that you have. So for example, it could be like you think out of the box ideas, or like you always like add some touch of humor and fun in all projects that you do. So that can be your signature that you always leave behind in all the projects that you are a part of. So I would challenge you to, I don't know, just like choose something that can reflect who you are, that leaves, like if someone sees this project, they know that Masha touched it. Or like someone sees this job and they know that Stella must have worked on this. This feels like her. So you need to like get to a point where like somebody can feel your work. It's sometimes even just like a vibe. Like this vibe is so Stella, this vibe is so Masha. As in just having that is going to help you feel so good about yourself, because you know that when you touch something, it needs to look in this way just because you worked on it. So and that kind of approach actually is what builds your life's work. And don't try and look for some overwhelming mission, because this whole talk of finding your purpose, finding your mission can feel overwhelming, because you feel like you need to pick one big audacious goal and then work on that for your whole life. That's not true. You just need to decide, how do I want my work to feel? What do I want every single project I touch? How do I want people who I work with to feel? Like just choose how you want to show up in all the jobs that you do, in all the projects that you do. And then that is going to be your mission. That's going to sprout and grow into something. But then just like, first of all, just start that small, just choose how you want to show up in your project. Then it's going to snowball into your bigger mission. Then like once you can get big enough and established enough to start picking and choosing the projects that you can work on, then you pick only those that speak into like your grander mission. But then it's a journey. So it's good for you to realize that it's a progression. Like jobs right now are crucial. Just pick what you can get and work at it like with all you have, but then always have this, always want to leave a mark in it, like your own little mark, your own little taste of like Stella was here, Masha was here. So just always try and leave that, because it first just makes you feel good, then it leaves a reputation behind you, and it really comes to help you later. Because like for example, in my career, I think I got 2 jobs from referrals, like without applying for them. People just like call me, hey, I was told so and they refused to tell me who told them. So like there's someone out there speaking nice things about me. So as in it's very humbling that people just like, they notice your passion and they notice like how much effort you put into things. Like people always see, like you think they don't see, but they see. and they tell each other. So as in, just put your heart into things, leave your signature, and it's always going to come back to you at some point in life. Like somewhere it's going to come back to you.
Yes, and that marks the end of the first episode of our chat with Stella Njogo. I really enjoyed this episode. Like I told you, I've learned so much concerning the shiny coin and just different ways on how we can be able to be better as creatives. So thank you so much for listening. We are on Instagram at The Creative Bulb Podcast. Do share with me your comments and suggestions. What did you like about the conversation? What do you agree with? What don't you agree with? What are you learning? You can as well send me an email at thecreativebulbpodcast@gmail.com. I am so happy that you are able to join us today. My name is Masha. Do have yourself a creative week.